Yes. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you doing?
All good. How are you?
I'm also doing great, Ankita. Last week I was traveling and just back in office today. Okay, and I have gone through your CDP, and while I have read through the whole thing, wanted to understand from you a bit more.
Yeah.
So that's why we are meeting today.
Yeah.
We have about half an hour available with us. Okay.
Sure.
So can you take me through all these sections of your CDP, which is your reflections about your current performance, your areas of strengths and development, also your future direction?
Sure. I think with regards to my current performance, when I look at my role as a business partner that I've been doing with 2 regions, I think we started off with few glitches here and there, but we have definitely taken up the speed
Sure.
and are fairly robust in the process at the moment. Also, as a people leader, I think I've led them very well and have constantly worked on enhancing their performance. My subject matter expertise, on the other hand, has really made the team aware of their performance and have made them function better. And apart from that, I have mentored the Mumbai region legal team, as you must be aware, in the absence of the legal head. So if I have to sum up the entire thing, I think I'm doing fairly great.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure. So if you look at your strengths and areas of development, what are the specific examples you can share with me?
The first thing that comes to my mind when I talk about my strength would certainly have to be my subject matter expertise that I bring on the table. And I think it will definitely help us ensure and build a sustained, robust process in the long run.
Okay.
Apart from that, I have been able to build a great rapport with the regional legal teams while working with them.
Sure.
And further, as you know, that I have developed SOPs which have helped us streamlining the process.
Yeah.
And given all these aspects, when I look at my development areas, my main focus is on ensuring how I can influence stakeholders better.
Sure, sure. Yeah. And when you look at your future directions, what you have in mind?
Well, I really want to expand my scope of work and get an exposure in different areas that I have.
Okay.
Currently, I'm just responsible for business advisory for a few regions, but eventually would hope to anchor multiple zones together.
Sure.
With regards my expertise, I would really like to get stronger at litigations and IPR.
Yes, Ankita, I can see that you have drawn quite an ambitious plan for your career.
Right.
And we will see that how best we can reach there by taking some definitive steps today, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, Ankita, when you reflected on your current performance, can you share with me which are the emotions running in your mind?
When it comes to my current performance, I'm really happy and confident.
That's great. And what about the next section where you discussed your strengths and areas of development?
With reference to my strengths, I really feel satisfied. And with regards to my areas of improvement, I must confess I'm a little anxious.
Yes, I can understand how you feel, because at times driving HO agenda becomes difficult. But I acknowledge your efforts there. And when we look at your future directions, what are the emotions associated there?
I'm really looking forward to it, quite excited and determined as well.
Sure, I can understand that, and I can see that as well. I wanted to understand one more thing from you, that when you created your CDP, what did you discover about yourself?
Well, to be honest, when I was reflecting on my past and the future, I realized that there's so much more that I can offer that has still not been explored by me.
Sure.
And when I took up business advisory, I wasn't really sure on how I would deliver on them.
Yes.
However, I feel I have really done well for myself. Taking risk is something that I have now learned to take on better.
Sure, that's really great.
Yeah.
And this insight that you have shared with me, when you looked at your last year's performance, it was not really very satisfactory, that we both know. But it must have given you some learning experience. Okay, so what I want to know from you is your learning experience, not that why this rating was given, why that rating is given, that is gone. So can you share what was your main learning from your last year's performance?
Well, if I have to reflect back, I think I need inputs on certain aspects related to business advisory.
Okay.
Business partnering is something that doesn't come very easily to me.
Okay.
Considering that I have always spent my time in a specialist role.
Okay.
This will make me perhaps more comfortable in a larger role.
Sure.
Last year I also realized that we don't have a really strong IPR team, and if I'm able to build my expertise in that area, it would greatly help us enhance our efficiency. Lastly, I need to improve my ability to influence and build my relation with my stakeholders. So this is what I feel when I really look at what I've done in the past year.
Very nice. Ankita, how do you think you can carry forward these learnings, because it is very important that how do we apply this in the times to come?
I think going forward, considering that I want to lead some zones, if I'm able to build my rapport with my key stakeholders, it will definitely help me resolve their issues faster. And further, since IPR,
Sure.
as you must be aware, is one of our weak links,
Okay.
our dependence on external consultants are very high. By building this expertise, it would help me create a niche for myself in the organization.
Sure, that looks fine, Ankita. Assume that we are on a crossroad. On one hand, you have your past, and on the other hand, you have your future. So here onwards, your future would be shaped in the direction that you take today, yeah, and the actions also you take today, right?
Right, sir.
Sure. So in order to meet your future directions, it would be important that you do exceedingly well in the current role, isn't it?
Certainly, yes.
So we'll now talk about how do you do better today so that we can take firm steps towards meeting your future direction, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So let's look at your current performance. First, how do you wish to take first 2 or 3 immediate steps to do better in the current performance? It's not the long-term planning that we are talking about, but just immediate actions that are coming to your mind.
Well, firstly, I would like to enhance my rapport with some of my key stakeholders.
Okay.
And similar to Monday meets with my team, I will try to initiate weekly meets with my stakeholders as well.
Okay.
And secondly, there are some delays pending at the sessions court on
Okay.
some of our projects,
Okay.
which I have not been able to focus on, given to a lot of other priorities that I'm
Sure.
handling,
Sure.
and have my team handle it. Although they have approached me several times, but I was unable to devote time to it. I think moving forward, I will get into the matter as well and see how best I can resolve it.
And I can understand this, so want to check with you that what do you wish to do immediately to scale the next height on 2 parameters, which is leading self and leading others?
Well, when it comes to leading others, as I had mentioned earlier, I would really like to develop my ability to foster collaboration. And with regards to leading self, I would really like to further strengthen my ability to take initiatives and improve proactive support to the business that it needs.
Okay. So Ankita, how do we strengthen the strengths and any immediate actions that you can take?
Well, if I have to take some immediate actions, then I would really like to leverage on my expertise in litigations further. Also, I believe that my team management skills are really strong, but I think I need to engage with my team a little more than what I used to earlier. And while I do my best to support them wherever and whenever possible, I often receive feedback that our team doesn't engage on a personal level often. So I think going forward, I think of having a coffee time with my team members when I'll get to know them better, beyond their work life.
Okay.
So that is something that I really plan on doing.
I think that looks like a great reflection and a great insight, Ankita. Similarly, would you like to reflect on the actions that you can take in your areas of improvement?
Certainly. So given the kind of work that I'm doing, I would really like to build up my skills in IPRs. There's a course online which is available, which I was going through the last week, which I'm really thinking of enrolling on it quite soon. Also I will work out weekly meets with my stakeholders to understand their point of views better, so that I'm aware of their pain areas. So that is what I'm really thinking of doing.
Oh, I really appreciate that you are thinking in this manner. And what support that I can provide you with?
To be honest, sir, it would be really great if you could be part of some of my weekly stakeholder meets initially.
Sure.
Sometimes, it's just great to observe how to build a good connection with individuals, especially the difficult ones. And secondly, since you know Mr. Malkani personally, a guru at IPR, can you put me in touch with him so that I can learn from him as well? If you can do that?
Definitely, I will, and I'm there for you to, move forward in this direction. And if I can check with you that how would you know that you are making the progress in right direction? And in other words, how would you like to measure periodically that how are you progressing?
Something that comes to my mind is there's actually an IPR case pending for the V project. I would really like to lead it independently. It would also provide me necessary exposure in the domain and force me to research on this area further.
Sure.
If I'm able to successfully close it within say 3 months or so, I'll know that I have succeeded. And secondly, basis my monthly meets, if I'm able to resolve some of the critical issues for my stakeholders, which have been pending since almost like March 2015, I would know that I have been successfully building rapport with them. So maybe these can be some of the measurement areas where I'll be able to understand if I'm really doing good at it.
Sure, I really acknowledge this thinking through, and would like to ask you that how do we make this particular plan that you have created for yourself, which is your development plan, how do we make this a reality, and anything that you would like to do differently?
Well, most of my stakeholders that I deal with often discuss their LRP and AOP priorities. One of the key inputs we had received as a team was regarding our ability to support them better in their AOP and the LRP priorities or rather planning. Maybe I could start getting involved in the next year's planning cycle. Something that will help me ensure that I'm doing what I'm doing at its best. Also, I will start conversing with the strategy team to enhance my understanding of the entire process. Yeah.
That looks like a good plan, Ankita, and I also saw you stretching your thinking. That's very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome. And Ankita, what would happen if you are convinced that your future directions are becoming the reality?
That'll be great. The fact that I will feel more satisfied to see the benefits of the efforts that I'm putting in, or I will put in the future.
Okay. And once you see that happening, how would that make you feel?
Definitely more confident.
Okay. Sure. So it was great discussing about your CDP with you, Ankita. Can you summarize the discussion that we had?
To sum it all, sir, I will work on plugging some of the learning gaps which I have realized to improve on my current performance.
Sure.
Couple of pointers that I would like to talk about would be improving my ability to influence the stakeholders to close on our agenda that we have. Be a very much active member of the AOP and LRP sessions that we take on a daily basis.
Yes.
Post this discussion, I will also add a couple of other things, maybe work with the strategy team to understand the AOP and LRP process better. Also, I'm thinking that I will really, register for the IPR online module that I told you about. So these are the couple of things that I plan on doing.
Yeah, sure. That's really good, and I acknowledge that the kind of thinking through you have done, and also acknowledge your contribution in terms of different perspectives as you have shared. I'm sure it has added some perspective for you, and to start doing well first in the current performance, current role, and also meeting your future direction.
Thanks, sir.
Great. In order to do well, would you like to know my views on how you can do well?
Yeah, certainly I would appreciate that.
Sure. So with your permission, I can share with you that you need to resolve the challenge of focus. So more you are focused, the productivity and everything will start improving. And once you get closer to your team, okay, as you have suggested that, Coffee with Ankita, some initiatives like this would help you to go closer to your team and eventually coming closer and they start doing better. So that's what the input from my side, and otherwise walk up to me, you can talk to me how I best further can help you. Yeah.
I'll certainly think about it.
Sure, Ankita. Wish you all the best, and I'm sure this discussion was a fruitful one for you.
Definitely, yes.
Sure.
Yeah. To sum it all, sir, I will work on plugging some of the learning gaps which I have realized to improve on my current performance.
Sure.
Couple of pointers that I would like to talk about would be improving my ability to influence the stakeholders to close on our agenda that we have.
Okay.
Be a very much active member of the AOP and LRP sessions that we take on a daily basis.
Yes.
Post this discussion, I will also add a couple of other things, maybe work with the strategy team to understand the AOP and LRP process better. Also, I'm thinking that I will really, register for the IPR online module that I told you about. So these are the couple of things that I plan on doing.